Well, guys, it looks like tonight it's a 2-for-1 special because I saw this video called "The Greatest Invention of the 20th Century: Air Conditioning," and pretty relevant because there's a whole bunch of European crybabies over there. That's what the internet has shown me, and apparently America is responsible for global warming because we use
Yep.
ACs. No other reason, just AC. We're just that special.
I heard they don't even have AC in hospitals.
I heard that was
over
like
there.
150,000 people in Europe die from heat stroke every year, but instead of just getting air conditioners, they're like, nah, we'll just let them die. And it's America's fault. That's what I heard.
It's weird.
All right, okay, let's start the video.
Currently making window cheese, and you're gonna have to stick around if you want to know what that means.
I do want to
Window-
know.
We're talking about the most important.
Window cheese seems incredibly dirty to me.
Yeah,
Sounds
that
gross.
sounds like
a euphemism,
like something
right?
you'd hear from Urban Dictionary, like a new sex position.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah, it sounds creepy.
Important invention of the 20th century: air conditioning. Can't know what you're thinking.
I
That's
love
a pretty
that.
big claim.
I
We
love
came
that
up with
clip.
a lot of important stuff in the 20th century. That is true. However, air conditioning is the most important one. I'm going to prove it, and then I'm going to relentlessly talk smack about Europeans.
Yeah,
the
let's
entire
talk
time,
shit.
right
Take
after
those
word from my sponsor.
Europeans.
This video is brought to you by Supremacy World War III. It is a free-to-play online PvP military-based strategy game. The entire thing's based on a World War III type scenario where you get to pick your country and if they get caught, because their unofficial motto is, if you're not cheating, you're not
Oh,
trying.
you
I
see
mean,
the
it's never a war crime the
bottom
first
left
time. So if you
corner.
want to give it a try, you can play with up to 99 other people,
Oh,
and it's
well, I
available
couldn't-
both PC and mobile.
I can't see it right
it's
now
free,
because
so if you want
decided
to
to
check
cut it
out, I'm
off.
gonna have a link and a discount code down below.
It's
Let's
like
get back to
underneath
the
my
video.
action bar.
All right, why are we even talking about air
For
conditioning?
whatever
Okay,
reason.
if you're not chronically on the internet like myself, A,
It
good
didn't
for
look
you,
like
but
it on my
B,
end.
let me fill you in real quick. Every June or July, there's a magical time of year where the British experience a heat wave. There's
Oh my
newspaper
God.
articles, there's British and European people getting on the internet talking shit about how the Americans just don't understand a British heat wave.
It's so funny. The girl I'm talking to, Vicula, she was complaining, but I think for good reason. Okay, she said it was like nearly 40 Celsius over there, which is like 100 degrees. So it actually is hot.
Yeah.
But the whole time I was thinking, yeah, I got to 120 a few years ago here, and I was looking it up, and it's like it's been 120 in Europe like one time.
Really?
Yeah, and I've survived that several times in my life.
I know personally I've survived 116 degree day, and I also survived a negative 20 degree day.
Yeah. I think
In
my
the same
record
state, by
negative.
the way.
Yeah, I think my record on negative was negative 35, and it was a blizzard when I was 10. I will say, I don't think I could beat her on cold temperatures because she is from Ukraine. I hear it gets really cold over there. But
Yeah, I
we
heard.
got her
I
beat on the
heard.
heat.
I was gonna say I heard that Russia has extreme temperatures. Like it's actually the coldest in the world as far as countries you can actually live in.
Yeah, but that's up
And
in north. She's not up there. Sure,
yeah,
even if she
I
was
bet
in
it goes
Russia,
up
she was
to
in
like
Ukraine.
80 or 90 degrees or some shit.
Yeah, but yeah, I heard 80, 90 degrees is common. It's not like it's not hot, but they could get AC. Just saying, AC.
Yeah.
But they refuse. Not her personally. I'm sure she'd love AC, but the countries up there have like severe regulations and make it almost impossible to get.
We couldn't possibly survive, yada, yada, yada. So then I get on there, I'm competitive, they're talking smack. It's like, okay, I mean, how hot is it over there? Never been there. Maybe it is super hot. I have no idea. So then you look into it and all the headlines are like, the British heat wave has reached over 30 degrees
Oh
Celsius
my
for the
God.
5th day in a row.
Yeah, all you have to do to convert is times 2, add 32, and join the rest of the human race.
Okay, my country's flag is on the moon. I have no idea what 30 degrees Celsius is, so then you gotta get on Google again. You gotta ask it what 30 degrees Celsius is, converted into Fahrenheit, the superior way of measuring temperature. It's like 86 degrees, and these people are acting like they're melting. Buh! Actually, Celsius is better because it's a metric system. You know, that measurement system the entire world uses except for you guys. It's obviously the best. Buh! No, it isn't. It doesn't even make sense, okay? Fahrenheit is the easiest concept on the planet. 0 is cold, 100 is hot, based on the human experience. The end. Celsius, on the other hand, is based on the freezing and boiling point of water, which doesn't even make sense because the freezing and boiling point of water isn't a constant. It depends on like 20 other variables, including altitude. Okay, when somebody asks you, how hot is it outside? Nobody's asking you, how does a glass of water at sea level feel about the temperature outside? No, I'm asking you, are my balls gonna be sweaty if I go outside? Do I need to wear shorts? Do I need to bring baby powder? Is monkey butt a potential hazard? These are the questions I want to know. I don't give a fuck how water feels about it.
Oh God!
Yeah.
It's just too much.
I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted. Anyways, this happens every year. The Europeans get on the internet, they complain about a heat wave, 86 degrees, they pretend like they're melting, they say the Americans don't understand, we couldn't possibly survive a British heat wave, yada yada yada. Well, this year,
They do say
something
that.
amazing happened. The FIFA World Cup is in America, so
Yeah,
a bunch
take
of
this, Europeans.
came to America and they got to experience American heat, and it became overwhelmingly obvious to them they are in fact just being giant pansy asses about the entire situation. At which point the Europeans realized that they were wrong, they had
God damn it, he's got this really funny rant. It's so damn true though. It's so damn true though. Even European people I've played games with have bitched like this. And they're like, you just don't understand. It's not that hot in America. It's different here. And I'm just like,
Dude,
okay.
we literally lived in Louisiana where the humidity is 100%, 100% of the time.
Yeah. And then it'll get to 100 on top of it.
Yeah, on top of it.
Yeah, no, it's funny. It's funny.
And we
It's just
all
true.
moved on. I'm just kidding. The Europeans pivoted, they moved the goalposts, and then the entire conversation became about air conditioning. Okay, I had no idea because I'm an American, and to be honest with you, I don't give a fuck about European politics, but apparently the British and the French are like morally and mentally just adamantly opposed to air conditioning to the point that it is literally a humongous political debate over there right now. And the
Really?
right wing and the left wing over in France is literally divided on air conditioning. Air conditioning in France
That's
is
funny.
right-wing technology.
If it's right-wing technology, I don't want to be left.
Yeah,
I'm not
that's what I was
exaggerating.
thinking. Dude.
And
That's
me,
so
with how my
crazy.
brain works, now I have
That's
to
so
know the
wild.
history of air conditioning. So, from the top. The first modern air conditioner was invented in 1902 by an engineer by the name of Willis
1902,
Carrier. And Willis
man.
Carrier was hired by a
He's a
publishing
hero.
company to come
Yep.
in and solve a problem.
Legend.
The problem this publishing company had was that when they were trying to print things in summer, the heat and humidity was causing fluctuations in the paper and the printing process, giving them an inconsistent product that they
Interesting.
weren't happy with. So he gets hired to come in and
They got
figure out a
big
way to
mad.
make their product more consistent while they're printing in summer. And his first option is, obviously, I'm just going to change the environment. I'm going to make it a constant. I'm going to get rid of the heat and the humidity so it's no longer a factor. Then we can tune the machines once and we can print away because it's always going to be the same temp and the same humidity in the factory.
Biggest brain thing I could think of, right? He's like,
Hey,
fuck
pause.
the environment. I'm just gonna be
As a
God.
person in 2026 that's grown up with like modern technology, this sounds obvious, like duh, just do that. But at the time in 1902,
Duh,
Homeboy
just
literally
do
came out of
that.
left field and is like, clearly, I just have to change the rules of physics. I have to change the entire world around me so this works. I'm literally gonna attempt to domesticate the fucking wind so I can print books. Okay, do you understand how insane that is? That would be if like the Wright brothers, when they were trying to design an airplane, were like, fucking, we'll just turn off gravity. Duh.
It's science.
It's
This guy
fine.
manages to do it, fixes the printing problem, sees the potential, patents the idea, patents the phrase air conditioning, and then he goes and creates the Carrier Air Conditioning Company, which is still around today, has like over 50,000 employees, and is worth over $20 billion.
Also, I'm just gonna say, air conditioning makes a lot of sense now that you know why it's there and why it's for. Because you're
Yeah.
conditioning the air.
So air conditioning is like primarily used in these factory type settings. In 1914, there are some people starting to get air conditioners in their homes, but it's extremely rare.
And
By
they're
the
rich.
early 1930s, they are starting to have like commercial air conditioning units that you can put in a home, but they cost like $10,000, which in 1932,
Oh,
convert that to
Derek.
today's money, it's almost like $250,000.
I was gonna say, you said rich, and you know what? Grandpa actually had like a silver spoon in his mouth because back in
TVs.
he had a TV when he was 12, and he had indoor plumbing.
Yep, he was
And he
spoiled.
also had central air.
I know. You told me.
That's
Yeah, I know. That
But
means
people
his
were willing
dad
to
was
pay it because
really well off and
if you
worked
got
really
the
hard.
money, not having ball sweat is priceless.
Hell yeah.
Oddly enough,
Hell
you
yeah.
can make the argument that air conditioning is actually responsible for movies, TV, and Hollywood as a whole. Because outside of manufacturing, one of the first industries to adopt air conditioning is movie theaters. Which makes so much sense because I cannot tell you how many times I've been shown like, oh, this is a silent film from 19 whatever the fuck, and oh, it was so funny at the time, blah, 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 blah. Nobody was going to movie theaters in the 1920s, the 1930s, the 1940s because they enjoyed watching silent films. They were going because that was the only place they could go to get air conditioning and get out of the heat for 2 hours. You can actually go back
That's so smart.
and read
very
accounts
smart.
from people at the time where they're like, yeah, no, we don't go to the movie theater because we give a shit about the movie. We just go so we can go there to cool off. So in a way, it's pretty likely, or at least you could argue that if it wasn't for air conditioning, the film industry as we know it today might not exist. Regardless, movie theaters were a lot of people's first encounter with air conditioning, and once they saw it, they're like, holy shit, this is awesome. I want to get it inside my house. But from here, the cost of air conditioners actually plummets because it's something that everybody can use and everybody wants. It's just like TVs. When I was a kid growing up, a flat screen TV was like $12,000. It was some absurd amount of money. And
Yeah.
today I can go to Walmart and buy a 70-inch flat screen TV that's better than those TVs when I was growing up for like $400. So air conditioning got incredibly cheap, incredibly fast when
Very
you compare it to
true.
pretty much anything else. And by the 1950s, they were starting to have literal experiments that they would call air-conditioned villages. Basically, they were new housing developments where all these new homes
Fuck you.
That's real expensive for back in the day.
Fuck you, dude. 2,500 down and you get a 3-bedroom house.
That was a lot of money, Derek.
Megan, that's a whole house.
Yeah, I know, but they were making like less than $1.
I don't care, bro. That's 1 year of work.
Fair.
Yeah, I'd have to work for like 4 years to get that same down payment for the current housing market. That's crazy. That's crazy. Fuck
Yeah.
all you old people that are still alive. I just want you to know that. Go fuck yourself. The only reason you're not successful or you're poor or whatever is your fault. Shut up.
had air conditioning in them, and they actually had psychologists and
Shut up
scientists
again.
go in, and the families that bought these homes volunteered to be studied for over
Crazy.
a year to see the impacts of living in an air-conditioned climate in your home and how it
They
would
just
affect
studied
them.
these people.
Had no idea what would happen. Would they go crazy?
They reported
Would they
being
not be able
happy.
to handle going outside anymore? These
Yeah,
were
let's
all
hear it.
huge
I bet you
unknowns at the
that's
time.
gonna be
And you want to
it.
know what the psychologists and the scientists concluded about living in air conditioning? It's pretty fucking awesome. Okay, they found
That's
out that
pretty
everybody
fucking
slept better.
That was their exact words. Pretty fucking
Wait, what did
awesome.
he say? Other,
He said-
like after he said that.
Oh, the first thing he said is they slept better.
And they also found out that the housewives were reporting back to the psychologists that their husbands, and I quote, had a better disposition, aka their husbands weren't as fucking grumpy all the time. You can literally go back and read the articles. We'll read one right now. Headline: air conditioning helps with disposition. Women living in air-conditioned homes in Austin, Texas, the air-conditioned village, startled a team of psychologists and researchers by asserting their husbands' dispositions had somehow miraculously improved under the influence of air conditioning. Okay, when
They lived in Texas and they got AC. Even that AC only got it down to like maybe like 75. I bet you they were so happy to not be outside.
you're not hot, you're not
I'm just saying it's fucking Texas.
grumpy. Fucking shocking, I know. Oddly enough, statistical data collected by these researchers indicated that indoor conditions within these homes could be conducive to support this opinion of these air-conditioned housewives. Reading newspapers from the 50s is crazy because it's just like, well, the housewives are saying their husbands are in the better mood, but them bitches are crazy. We can't trust them. We need empirical data to prove their opinion.
I didn't even think about it like that, but he's absolutely right. That's exactly what the article pretty much said. It's like, well, this is what they're saying, but is it real? No.
Yeah.
No, they're just women talking, you know?
Be correct. But even more strongly indicated is the likely possibility that the women themselves, as a result of enjoying the comforts of air conditioning, were able to look upon their spouses with a little more than
That's funny.
Usual benevolence.
Sorry, dude. That's wildly sexist, but that's so funny.
Mom and dad are both in a better mood because nobody's sweating their ass off all day, obviously. Okay, just so we're on the same page, if you're not picking up what I put down so far, air conditioning might be responsible for the entire film industry, TV as we know it today. It helps keep families together, and that's just scratching the surface on why it's the most important invention of the 20th century. Just to prove my point, let's have a thought exercise. I asked
let's think
Google
it.
completely blind. I had some guesses because I know a little bit about history, but I just went in blind and asked Google, what are the most important inventions of the 20th century? Let's see what they came up with. So coming in at number 1, we have the
transistor. Makes a lot of sense.
Extremely important, but the mass manufacturing of transistors isn't possible without air conditioning because in order to manufacture a transistor, you need purified air, humidity control, and temperature control.
You're welcome, Europe, by the way.
By air
Transistors
so,
were made
no
here.
air conditioning, no mass manufacturing of transistors. One more point. Coming in at number 2, the internet, okay? Internet also can't exist without AC because the internet is run off of a bunch of server farms, which also need to be in a climate-controlled environment. You ever been inside of a server room? Pretty cold, pretty purified air. Can't have it without air conditioning. Coming in at number 3, penicillin. Obviously, incredibly important. The world's first antibiotic saved tens, if not hundreds of millions of lives since it was invented. And you know what? Would it exist without air conditioning?
Yeah, I know, that's absolutely true.
However, would you be able to mass manufacture it to the degree that we do today as safely as we do without air conditioning? Absolutely not. Number 4, mass production of automobiles. Could that exist without air conditioning? Yes, it could. However, if you look at where most cars are manufactured, Texas, Tennessee, Alabama, Mexico, none of those places would be able to crank out cars to the degree that they do without air conditioning because you would have workers dropping out from heat stroke. In fact,
they would
most
just
of the
die,
major
probably.
cities in America that are in a hotter climate, like, I don't know, Las Vegas, Phoenix, Dallas, Houston, Orlando, Atlanta, all of which would probably exist to some degree if it wasn't for air conditioning, but air conditioning allowed them to grow into major metropolitan areas. It's literally a saying, air conditioning made Phoenix possible. And last but not least, the airplane. Now, would the Wright brothers have strapped some wings to a bicycle, drove it off a cliff, and figured out how to fly? Absolutely. Is commercial flight without air conditioning as we know it today possible? Absolutely not. The inside of that cabin on that plane would be 400 degrees if it wasn't for air conditioning. So yes, air conditioning is the most important invention of the 20th century. Which raises a question, why the fuck don't the Europeans just use it?
Right.
That's how I'd answer that guy. Right. Correct then.
Also, they don't know the joys of being in a hospital that's really cold for a while and then having to request a nice warm blanket and them throwing it on top of you.
I like that. That's the example you use. Good example.
No, seriously. It's a good example because not only is the hospital cold, but when you get too cold and too comfortable, you could get even more comfortable by having something warm on you.
I'll just fall asleep. Suffer in silence. No, you're right.
Said how's his edge, huh? He only chopped him down because he couldn't see the view no more. What's he known about?
And the answers to that question might be the most infuriating answers to a question
That was funny.
I've ever
Okay,
gotten
that was funny.
in my entire life. Answer number 1. Europeans don't need air conditioning because the climate isn't as hot as America. Now, setting aside the fact that that proves the initial point that America is hotter and we could survive a British heat wave, we'll just set that off to the side
You're
real
just
quick.
gonna throw
The
that away.
Europeans say shit like, well, we wouldn't run them that often and we would only need them for like 1 month a year. Cool. Do you know how much shit I own that I don't need very often? I've had a spare tire in every car I've ever owned my entire life. I've never had to use it. I've still fucking
Neither
got
did
it
Zach.
just in
It's
case.
just like
If
a
there
little
was
side
something
bump.
that I only needed to use 30 days a year to make sure my balls weren't hot while I was trying to sleep, you best believe I'm gonna fucking own it. Oh, well, Europeans are tougher than you Americans. We'll just grit our teeth and bear it. Are you? Are you really? Because last I checked, 175,000.
I was right. I mean, not right, but I was close. See, I was close.
Fucking people died from heat stroke because you're too fucking stupid to buy an air conditioner.
Yeah,
Do you understand
fucking
how
idiots.
insane that is? If there was any other event on the planet that killed 175,000 people, there would be memorials and statues commemorating.
Yeah, it's like
what
a war.
tragedy
It's like a
this
war
was.
death.
But because it's just you guys being like, well, the Americans invented a machine that can domesticate wind, but we don't want to admit they're right, so we would rather let all our young and elderly
I was gonna
die
say
of
that.
heat stroke than give them the W. What are you doing? Okay, which leads right into the next argument, the most
I was
infuriating
literally
one
gonna say
because
that.
I used to build
It's so
shit for a
true,
living.
dude.
Americans don't understand because our homes are actually built to retain heat, so an air conditioner wouldn't work as well for us.
We'll pause him right
Okay,
here.
so-
I know where this is going. That's how insulation works. You fucking idiot. That's how
I was gonna
insulation
say-
works.
We literally, depending on where you live in the United States, we have houses that are built differently. Do they not realize this?
They don't.
Like
They don't.
Wyoming or Wisconsin are going to have more warm houses than, say, Louisiana. Louisiana's built for cool, like try to cool the house.
Yeah, but all I'm saying is they don't understand it. But I guarantee you he's going to bring up insulation because it's obvious. That's insulation, you stupid.
Motherfucker, that's just insulation. That's how insulation works, okay? Do you
Called
have a
it.
thermos? If you
Called
put
it.
hot tea or whatever stupid shit you
Called
guys
it. I was
drink
like, I
in
just
a
wanted to
thermos, you know
pause.
how it stays hot?
So I was like,
Now
I know.
dump it out
I'm gonna
and put
predict the
fucking
future.
ice water in it. The ice water stays cold, okay? Your house isn't specifically
They also
designed
don't
to
like
be
ice.
hot inside. It's designed to have
Yeah,
a
they
controlled
think it's
temperature regardless of
bad
what's
for
going
their
on
mojo
outside.
or
So if you
something.
buy an air conditioner and you cool off the house,
No,
it
I
stays
dropped my
fucking
thing.
cool.
Oh, well,
Well,
wait.
air conditioning's really expensive. No, it isn't. You can buy a window unit for $169 to cool off the room that you sleep in or your living room or whatever, okay? The average minimum wage of Europe is $8.33 American. That's 20 hours of the most unskilled labor that you have available in exchange for a magic box that domesticates the fucking wind so you don't have to sweat your balls off. Okay, that is a modern miracle, and you're saying that that's too expensive? I would pay an outrageous
very
amount
least
of
get a
money
swamp
to
cooler.
see a British person go back
Yeah,
in
they
time
wouldn't even
and
do
talk
that.
to one of their ancestors, some medieval peasant picking turnips outside of a castle, and explain to them that in the future, there's a magical box that can make the house cold when it's hot outside. And in exchange for that, all they had to do was work 20 hours and they could cool off their house for years upon years to come, and then explain to them with
It's so funny. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine you're just like, no, we have this box. I mean, technically, you can buy it, and it'll just cool your house. How does it work? Well, I don't really know how it works, but it does, and it'll make your whole house cold. Oh, what do you have to do
Dude.
for that? 20 hours of work. But I'm not going to do it because it would make the Americans win. This poor peasant would be like, what the fuck's wrong with you, dude?
dead
This is like the right equivalent of saying owning the libs right now.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm
Essentially,
sorry.
this is like the easiest dub they've ever gotten over
pants
there,
there,
being
but I don't
whatever
do
British
it
conservatives are.
because it's expensive.
Are you pulling my leg?
Motherfucker, it's literally magic to these people. You have the opportunity to buy climate changing magic for 20 hours of your time, and you're just like, nah, I'd rather let grandma and grandpa die from heat stroke. I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm slowly coming around to the idea that this is actually a conspiracy by the European governments to slowly kill off old people so they don't break their universal healthcare system. There's no other logical explanation for why
funny.
you would be anti-air conditioning. And apparently
That's
one of the big talking points is,
hilarious.
oh, well, air conditioning is actually bad for climate change, so it's only making the problem worse. And then the climate activists get on CNN or the BBC or whatever, and they're giving interviews offering alternatives to air conditioning that you could do. I'm just,
Is this the window cheese? Because
Oh, I forgot about window cheese.
I nearly
Also,
forgot
you can
too.
you can take AC out of my cold dead hands, and you know what? I may not be dead, but I'll be comfortable.
My cold dead hands.
My cold dead hands.
Yeah, with your hot, uncold hands.
I'm gonna show you because if I
Yeah.
didn't show you the interview, you wouldn't
Emphasis
believe
on
it.
cold.
Their
I
solutions
wouldn't believe
get
it.
progressively worse, but we're gonna go ahead and start off with their best solution. Solution number one.
If it gets really hot, I sleep under a wet sheet. That's my other technique.
Ew.
How about no?
With a big bucket of water under the desk with my feet in the bucket of water.
Option number two, soak your
Ew.
feet in a bucket of water while you're sitting at home all day long. Also, no. B, I know your house fucking stinks. It smells like wet feet and BO because you're not wearing deodorant and you don't have air conditioning, and I know you're sitting in the house.
Oh my god, dude. I love his take on this. This
He's
whole
probably
video.
right, dude. He's probably
Sweating your
right.
ass off 24/7. No, I'm not doing it. And option number three, I can't believe this is real.
Nope.
Including, would you believe it, painting windows with yogurt.
Ew.
What'd she say?
She said painting windows of yogurt.
Ugh,
Ugh.
that smell horrible.
That's so disgusting.
How?
Especially if it's Greek
How are
yogurt.
you this
Yeah, I agree. Please stand
Your
by.
solution, rather than just admitting the Americans are onto something with this air conditioning shit, is to smear yogurt on your fucking windows. You want to make window cheese rather than just turn on an air conditioner. How do you not see how fucking insane that sounds? Like, one of your biggest talking points is air conditioning is expensive.
Yeah, this might make
how
you look,
expensive is it to smear a new layer of yogurt on all the windows on your house? And
white trash as hell, but use tinfoil on your windows.
Still be hot as
Yeah, I mean, that would work. But why don't you just use an AC or tint your window? You could even tint your windows, blackout curtains. There's so many other solutions that are way bad.
Swamp coolers. I had to use that down south before.
Yeah. But those don't work super well either.
Yogurt on my windows.
I mean, it works better than no AC.
Yeah, it works better than nothing.
Like, what are you doing? Just get an air conditioner, for the love of God. Oh my God. At this point, I'm convinced that air conditioning could prevent World War III if you guys would just do it. No wonder you guys are always
Do
starting
they have
world
AC
wars
in
and
Asia?
Yeah,
us into it.
100%.
You're all fucking grumpy and hot 24/7. Get some AC and come up with a peace treaty. I don't ever want to hear it.
Well, okay, not 100%, but all the first world countries do. I'm not sure about the islands and stuff. Okay, you know, I don't. I haven't been to all.
Oh, I assumed that South Korea and Japan had AC,
100%.
but I wasn't for sure.
100%.
Talk shit about America being dumb ever again. They always love to bring up like, oh, America has a bunch of gun violence, blah, 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 blah. Cool. More people are dying because you refuse to use air conditioning than Americans are dying from gun violence, all right? And by a lot. It's not even close. Europe is losing 100.
That would be about 140,000 more people die from heat than from guns.
75,000 people a year.
On average.
To put that into perspective, America had roughly 60,000 people die in the Vietnam War. How do you not see how insane that is? Air conditioning at this point is like the cheapest, most cost-effective, life-saving technology on the planet, and you're just like, nah, I don't want it. And the most beautiful part about all this is I know for a fact there's going to be a ton of keyboard warriors with a bunch of stupid talking points and smug comments in the comment sections, and this is going to get clipped and put on Twitter and Instagram and all these other places, and there's going to be all these comments, and you know what? None of those comments would be possible without air conditioning, because without air conditioning, the internet that you're using wouldn't function.
Like, I'm just scrolling down real fast.
You are proving my point that air conditioning
I'm trying to see if there's anybody out there.
Invention of the 21st century, and if you don't have some, you should get some, and that's all I gotta say about that. Thank you for watching. Best way to support the channel is go buy some merch. Maybe drink some Echelon.
A white person for sure.
Available over at thefatelectrician.com. Quack
I'm
bang
just saying.
out.
You could just tell by how it's typed.
Are you serious?
What?
Even Iraq had
Don't forget to go
conditioned
check out World War
attempts.
III, unlock your railgun
Yeah.
and go conquer the British. It's what George Washington would have wanted.
Oh, Greece isn't smart. So it's literally just
This
Great
guy.
Britain.
This guy. Look at this guy.
That's funny.
Oh, dude, that's hilarious. Yeah, essentially just Britain and France, apparently. Well, anyway, that's that one. I hope you guys liked it, because I think it was fucking funny, man.
People are probably going to get
The
mad
guy's
and call this
great.
video propaganda, but in my defense, it's not
Whoa,
my
hold
fault.
up
The only
here.
thing you have to
This ain't a 2-for-1. Anyway, have a good time, guys. I hope you have a good day and a good night, or wherever you're at. Ah, that's funny.